funny.
Okay.
You start recording at the worst times.
I know, right? We catch it at the end of all the like funny stuff, and I'm like, oh man, yeah, she's a yellow crayon. It's awesome.
I think
You
we
know
need
what
to.
though? It's kind of like for being someone that, has been listening to this, it's actually kind of fun to start listening to it and be like, what were they talking about before they started recording? Because you'll catch little clips of it and be like, but it makes people want to be a part of the conversation.
It's
See,
almost something you don't want to know what we were talking about.
Yeah, sometimes you really don't want to know. You're like, what the fuck?
Sometimes there's just little racisms in here.
Yeah, and we love each other because he's
there's
white
only
and I'm black. You know?
There's only one white guy on here normally, and there's normally 2 or 3 black men. There's no getting around that.
Like the beginning to a really bad porno.
No, that's normally a white woman.
Oh God. Elizabeth's like, what the fuck are you guys talking?
What am I getting myself into?
A whole lot of weirdness. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah, make sure your son is nowhere near this.
Yeah, please do. And Steve?
He's in the living room upstairs, or in his little like playroom right now, watching I don't know, something. But he woke up this morning and was like, "Are you gonna make me breakfast in bed?" And I was like, "I don't think you get how this Mother's Day thing works."
It's like,
I'm bringing you breakfast in bed.
My
man's like, fuck. He's like, fuck the. What's the opposite of patriarch? I can't remember.
What is no matriarchy.
Matriarchy, yeah. Place. No matriarchy in this place. We're all for the dudes. But happy Mother's Day, though.
Thank you. Thanks.
And on your day of all days, Ken was late.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's totally fine.
I switched from Team iPhone to Galaxy, and it's been like, it's
fucking
amazing.
Slut.
This thing is amazing, dude. It's
amazing.
Not. It really is. It synced everything together but my calendar. And every time we have a podcast in the morning, like 8, it goes, oh, you have a podcast at this time? I'm like, okay, I need to be at my house by 30 minutes before then to get myself prepared. I didn't do that, so I gotta tell you, I'm sorry. I feel like a dick.
So it sounds to me like you made the wrong choice. You just stayed with iPhone.
I did not make the wrong choice. I'm sticking with this 100%.
You're a green texter now. You're a piece of shit.
Wow. You know what? At least when I get in the car, my phone automatically hooks up to the Bluetooth without me having to tap buttons.
So does mine. Just get a new car.
Steve, do you think I'm made of money? That's a low
question. You make 3 times as much as I do.
I make quite a bit of money, but I'm cheap as fuck, man. I'm so cheap.
We both have Jeeps. It's not like I'm asking you to get a fucking Maserati.
I am about to buy Tesla though in August, so yeah. See, she
has one.
Oh, really? What model do you have?
A Model Y.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang.
Why are you asking us a question? What model was it? He asked.
Model Y. That's what she said.
Why are you asking me the same question, jackass?
I didn't ask you. I asked her the question.
You know what? He doesn't even have a kid yet, and he's trying to turn on dad jokes.
Exactly. He has
Model
none.
Y.
Model Y. Model Y. Why?
I wore my Sperry's today. I have my plain band watch on. What are those?
Into that dad mode.
Yeah.
I told Jess today I want to get some of those Hey Dude shoes.
Oh, God. Don't do that.
Dude, I want a pair so bad. They look so fucking comfy.
Funny story. We were in Costco today, right? It's crowded on Sundays, and I'm sitting there looking at all these shorts. I'm like, oh, I want shorts without cargo pockets on them. Not a pair existed in Costco. I was like, man, I'm not dressing. I haven't.
What are you, fucking like half poor? You make like $160K a year, and you're shopping for your shorts in Costco.
Yeah, it's convenience.
Get
food, buy some shorts.
I spent $200 in Costco today, which we were only going there
normal.
But we were going to get toilet paper. That was it. I walked out with 3 tomato plants, like 2 strawberry plants, Anaheim pepper plant, and a whole bunch of other shit.
I blew like a good portion of Jess and I's savings like a few weeks ago when we went to Costco. It was all worth it, and we put it all back in, but between that TV and the normal shopping, I think we blew like $100.
Oh, that's not that bad.
No, it's not.
That's not that bad. I remember one time I went to Costco, I spent $2,500, and I was like, I'm going to jump off a bridge. Yeah, bro.
Why didn't you buy? Did you buy your phone at Costco at least?
No, we got her sisters. Her sister's graduating. You're a dick. Her sister's graduating high school, so we got her a Surface Pro for graduation gift. That was like $1,100. Then we got a bunch of other random crap and filled up the pantry. And I was like, well, it's $2,500 well spent.
Jess doesn't always let me shop at Costco, especially on my own, because the last time she let me do that on my own, I bought hot dog rolls, but I bought the like 42 pack of hot dog rolls. And I didn't even buy hot dogs.
You're wondering where that dad weight's coming from. You're like, oh, it's just the dad weight. You know, it's
It was all
Chick-fil-A
the
diet.
bread.
It's the fucking bread you're eating, man.
And then I had them up in the like counter, and I think we ended up just having like sausages. Like we love sausage, so like once
Yes,
a
you
week
do.
we'll have it. I do.
That's how
And actually,
both of you are in the situation you're in now.
well, I love mine. She loves mine as well. So tell we don't have to tell Liz. Liz did this too.
Liz is like, oh.
She gave birth to a child, so it's not like she's inept to these things.
She knows what sausage is. Like,
My favorite is the spicy jalapeno one from Costco.
so Mexican sausage.
Dude, that sausage is delicious.
What about the like brown sugar maple?
No, I haven't had that one yet. I like the hot Italian one that you can get at most grocery stores. Those are good too.
The one
They're
I
not really
described
that
was-
hot, but
I mean, the one I described was black guy sausage. So yeah, I'm just trying to. Anyways, Liz.
I thought that was just Tootsie Rolls.
Liz had. Well, yeah. I mean,
God.
Tam apparently loves Tootsie Rolls, so I mean, you know, hey, I love her too.
Is that a 50 pack of Tootsie Rolls or is that just a singular?
You know, like the bigger, like extended Tootsie Rolls, about yay long.
No, because those look like chips that I put in my toilet.
You just described what my penis looks like.
Nobody should ever see that ever.
You've seen it before, I think.
Nope,
Oh
definitely
yeah,
not.
Waller.
I'm never gonna be able to unsee that now.
You're like, damn. A Tootsie
I want to
Roll.
know what her thought process is going into that. Because again, you can never really imagine anything unless you've seen something of it.
Oh,
The
yeah,
same thing with dreaming. If you didn't know, whenever you dream something, even if you don't recognize something in the dream, the only reason why you saw it in your dream is because you've seen it in real life.
I mean, but everybody's seen a black penis.
I don't know about that.
And Liz just shaves her head up and down. She's like, yeah, sure, yeah, been there, done that, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I saw that meme of that giant black dude with his wang hanging down between his legs.
Yeah, I don't have a problem like that. I don't have a problem to where it, like when I sit down, I sit on it. Like no, but it's
That
it's
dude
there.
had a problem.
I've sat on my nuts before. It's rough. It's real rough.
I'm pretty sure every guy has. It's a real thing. It's like girls like when they fall on box jumps and they hit their cooter.
Yeah, around the corner of the box, just wow.
Did you ever see that video on Instagram?
Yeah.
It was like, get ready for the open, ladies.
Yeah, I'm about to
Some
pull
movie
it
just
up.
like misses and just bam.
Dude, you know John put that up? John Woolley put that up. He's the one that
Did
made
he?
it famous. Yeah.
That shit was funny as fuck.
Wait,
That shit. I hope that's somebody at his gym that he trains with.
I
If
wanna
he
see
just
this.
made infamously famous.
He tagged her. It's in here somewhere.
That's funny as fuck.
I'm just fucking
If
around
she
on
just-
YouTube.
She just takes that corner straight to her piece.
Yep, right there. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
Good God. All right. Well, while Ken looks up lady getting hit in the vagina,
Yeah.
Liz, tell everybody who you are, and hopefully it's not that lady.
Oh, no. I'm not YouTube famous from that, thank God. So yeah, I'm Elizabeth Hand. I'm a friend of Steve's from Ballistic. I guess we met at Ballistic.
Mhm.
When was that? I don't know. It's been a few
Probably like
months.
7-8 months ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Mhm.
I've actually been at Ballistic since like 2015. Started CrossFit 2013. So like
She's
I'm one of
an
those people
OG.
who's been doing it for a long, long time. But military brat by background, made it to Texas to become a pharmacist.
Los
So-
Dragos.
Yeah, did about 10 years working in infectious disease, which is pretty cool. And then kind of decided this last little bit after COVID to step out of that. And now I'm a pharmacy manager. So,
Are you a pharmacy?
uh,
You have a degree in pharmacy?
yes, I do.
Oh, so does Tam. She's a pharmacist too. Hey, Tam,
Yeah.
somebody else is as fucking crazy as you. Anyways, yeah.
I know. I heard that on one of y'all's last podcasts. I was like, all right, legal drug dealers unite.
Yeah. She's my dope dealer. It's great.
Oh my God. He's fucking snorting oxy instead of coke.
Oh
Yeah.
God. I
And
wish.
what can you bring home? Well, we threw out X amount of drugs today, so
Anything with an
Yeah.
"ing" at the end of it, I can't have because, I'm
With
allergic
a
to it.
what at the end of it?
Like codeine, things like that. Those types of painkillers.
Well, I said, I didn't say ecstasy. I don't know why I thought I saw ecstasy.
Jesus, why'd you say ecstasy?
You were methamphetamine. I don't know.
Man. I'm gonna ask Liz this question right away, like right now.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Liz, this whole abortion thing?
Mm.
What is
we're going straight to a
Yeah,
good
we're going
topic.
straight to abortion. I want to talk about
Why
this because I have a very soft place in my heart for this type
Well,
of
at
thing.
least consider adoption first.
I mean, nah, we're gonna hit it. Go ahead, Liz.
Let's
Tell me.
All right. I mean, obviously, I'm not immune to what everyone has been talking about this lately. It's like been, I think, the top thing on people's minds. But I kind of have a strong feeling, and I will say my background, I was raised in a very Catholic family. Which has, has had some significant impact on me. But I think one thing that I've learned, which, I'm a decent amount older than y'all. I'll be 37 at the end of this year.
I'm 31. I mean, you're not that old.
Got some years on y'all, but I really feel like you can't legislate morality. Like you can't put a law in place and be like, everyone has to think that this life begins at conception and respect it as such. I think individual people can believe that, absolutely. And I happen to be one of those. Like I do still, I'm not a practicing Catholic anymore, but I do still believe that life begins at conception and there's a respect for human life. But I also understand that there's a lot of things kind of tied into that and people's own personal decision makings. And I don't know, I've never been in a position of having to make that call, have this baby, not have this baby. I was just listening to a story on NPR about a woman who had 5 kids and she lost her job due to COVID. She finally got another job and then found out she was pregnant again, and she was afraid of losing her job. And so you're like, to ask people, what would you do? You don't know unless you're in that situation. So I kind of think that it is a personal choice. And if we want to get people to the place where they're not having abortions or they don't feel like they need to, we're going to have to really start with kind of caring for single moms, teenage moms, poor moms, brown and black moms. Like, you got to care for those people and those children. And that's going to push people away from abortion, not making a law that says you can't do it.
To start in a reply to that, not that I think anything wrong with that is. Yeah. My stance is the first moment that somebody, whether they stand for it or against it, if the word or the terms phrased for religion come into your answer, exit stage left, get the fuck out, because religion does not belong in state.
Yeah,
there's
we're
a
not
separation
the United
for that.
States of Christianity,
Yes.
Yeah, it's America.
And the other problem is there's too many people that govern us, even in the great state of Texas, that are like, oh, well, that's not what good religious people would do. Or there's people on TV that are like, well, what this country needs now is religion to get it back on track. No, we don't need any of your fucking magical voodoo fucking the white man with long hair in Israel, which doesn't fucking calculate to anything.
Doesn't make sense.
He said this. No,
why does he
didn't
not?
say that.
Why does he not have a tan? The fuck is hot as fuck over there.
Let's be honest. Back then, there was nothing as an abortion. There was just a man's fist finding its way into a woman's stomach.
Yeah.
Or the child was born and then thrown off the side of a mountain. So
yeah.
Pick your choice.
Yeah. Or he got fully Abrahamed.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah,
yes. Dinner time. Yes. The lamb and the child. Mm-hmm. So my response is women should have the undoubtable choice, right? It is their body. But women need to understand the responsibility that their body has. So do men. There's a small part of me that I don't know how legislation would ever be like verbally written, but I think that men deserve a small amount of say. Small amount. Because
only if you're in their relationship. Only if you're part of it.
So this was something that crossed my mind. I do this weird thing where I talk to myself sometimes during the day. But I thought about it and I said, well, so most people nowadays don't want to consider what the purpose of sex is. Like, no, like kids in college, kids in high school, nobody wants to accept what it is. Nobody wants to use a condom. When this male fucking birth control comes out and it's proven to be effective, everybody in this country is going to be humping like rabbits.
Yeah, it's like this is going.
But
Everybody.
do you see my face like as someone who again worked in infectious disease for 10 years?
Mhm.
I'm like not even thinking pregnancy. I'm just like gross the fuck out.
So
Like,
many
what?
STDs. So many
Yes.
STDs you can get.
100%.
Oh yeah.
So, in the end, I think
Forget pregnancy. Herpes is with you for life.
Yeah, you're gonna give that
Jesus.
gift a bunch. A bunch.
marry quickly, everybody.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I found her.
Or
She's
test
great.
everybody.
She found me. I found her. You know.
There's going to be,
just-
instead of COVID tests, it's going to be STD tests that you could just walk into Walgreens for.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you got to
mean, you
pee on this
can,
stick before
honestly.
you and I get into bed.
I mean, you honestly can.
You could.
No, you really can. You just go to. They have them
There's
all
an
over
STD
Amazon. You can
Oh,
buy
really?
them from Amazon.
And
you
it tests
can-
for all of them?
No, it tests for like a couple, like chlamydia, like
No.
the bacterial.
That's what I'm
ones,
saying.
'cause viral
They'll
is
go
hard.
through like a fucking.
Yeah,
Hey, if we can make it happen for COVID, we can make it happen for STDs and people having sex.
100%.
Trust me. All those old guys on Capitol Hill, they want to have sex too.
The way that I see like this whole Roe v. Wade thing is that it basically propped up women's ability to have a legal abortion. Like, if it's the way that I see it is, I'm a dude, right? I don't know if I was a dude making laws, like sitting in a Senate or representative seat, I wouldn't touch that with an 18,000-foot pole because I'm a dude with balls. I can't have a baby. I don't carry a child. I don't go through the bodily changes that a woman does with a
True.
child. But
the reason why
also-
men feel like they have the right to say something
But I
is
mean,
because they
if you-
have kids.
but
So
if
they're
you
like,
father- But if you father that child and you're in a relationship, that's a discussion between you and the person in a relationship. I'm pro small government, first of all. Let me put that out
Yes.
there. Like, I love a small government. I just want you to fix the roads, make sure infrastructure's good, make sure the schools are okay. If you can do those three things, I can handle everything else. Like, I can get my own food, I can plant my own garden, I don't give a shit. But when the more and more you get people introduced, or the people don't realize that the more that you give up your freedoms towards certain things, or the more power the government gets in doing things, the less likely you are to get it back. There's a 100% chance you won't get it back. Like the whole mandate for COVID thing, like the COVID vaccine. I mean, they tell you have to get this shot. If you don't get this shot, you can't work. All right, cool.
can't travel,
stopping them?
can't
Yeah,
leave your
travel.
house, can't
Yeah,
go
you
to the grocery store.
i.e. Australia right now, and Denmark, and New Zealand. But
China.
you can't have that back, and the government's never going to give you that control back. It's just human nature.
No, the government will never give control back until there's a fight, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
But so my thing was that this case is the same shit as that stuff out of Florida with like the don't say gay bill.
Mhm.
It does not say
It doesn't say
do not
that.
say gay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It does, however, limit certain things that make certain people uncomfortable, and that is what the governor is there to do, is to make as many people happy as possible. If there is a if there's a majority, they're going to try to stick with that majority. This situation, all this really does is give the power back to the states. So if you live in Texas and Texas has I'm on board with, if I'm strictly in the middle, because if you want to have an abortion, fine. I think that there are things that need to go hand in hand with that,
Yeah.
right? And morality, again, you can't put that in the hands of government or law. I think the morality of the nation needs to kind of come up a little bit. People need to take more responsibility. But if I'm here and Texas is like, hey, you have to have an abortion within 6 weeks. Most people don't even know within 6 weeks.
Mhm.
But
You could easily drive to any handful of states around the country or fly, get one, come home. Now, you incur the cost of travel, the cost of the abortion, the cost of anything after that, right? But the same thing happens is if you have the kid, you're going to incur the cost of a fucking child. So would you rather pay for it up front or pay for it after? Now,
Well,
if you pay for it after, you're paying that doctor's bill, and you're paying for everything up until the kid leaves.
Maybe you are, maybe you aren't, because if you can't afford that, maybe the state is taking care of that for you, and you're making some money off that.
Okay,
I mean, I don't say making money off that kid, but
yeah,
it's
you should. But people also leave this part out of the conversation. birth control and contraception. Like, okay, they give out condoms for free at the health department. If you didn't know, now you know. Also, the second part of that is there is a lot of services that provide free birth control to women under the age of 25.
Mhm.
If you're under the age of 25 and you're going to have an abortion, you should have mandatory counseling on what could have prevented that. There's some type of education, like before you're able to walk in their room and abort that child, you have to go sit down to 40 hours of counseling and go, hey, these are the options you had. This is where you are. You know, this is, you know, how much it costs to have an abortion. These are the long-term mental effects. Bam, I just gave you 40 hours of counseling. The choice is yours.
But again, the reason why most people would decline that and say like, oh, that's stupid, you can't make me do it, is because they don't want to take responsibility for the fact of what they're doing already. The fact that we have condoms, we have, I mean, Plan B, we have all the different contraceptives. Like birth control is good for some women in the case of like hormone imbalances and all that other stuff. But we came up with how many different ways to try not to get pregnant because we noticed as a society, man, we like to have sex.
We're like animals.
I
love doing it. It's so great. Oh my God, it's the best thing ever.
Again, in the wild even, right? If you're a male lion and you're walking around your pride just humping everything that walks,
what he's supposed to.
If there's 15 cubs that come out of it, cool. That male lion's like, hey, I have to feed all of this.
Well, the lionesses actually hunt. Men lion don't hunt.
Shut the fuck up. You get what the fuck.
They've done their job.
They gotta protect. They gotta do all the shit. They gotta hunt sometimes.
They protect. They don't hunt. If they hunt, their whole pride's fucked.
I don't know about that.
No, it is. It's a scientific fact.
Okay, science proves all then. So, in my case, I think this bill is obviously just hot topic, but I think it's like Jess and I. She got off birth control. I don't know if she wants me to tell this, but whatever. She got off birth control, I want to say October or November of last year. We had been married just shy of a year. And for her, it was like, hey, like, whether it's weight gain, migraines, just not feeling herself, she was like, I used to feel a lot better. I used to be like skinnier, slimmer, feel like just physically feel better. And I was like, all right, I'm not one to tell you have to have that. And she was like, okay, but if we get off it, you're buying condoms. And I was like,
damn, that's rough, huh?
I was like, I'm sorry, but I can. Or we can just go with that old classic timing, right?
It's like, okay.
But we sat down and we kind of had like a natural conversation that was like, we're not trying.
Accept the responsibility.
We're not trying.
Yeah.
But if it happens, it happens. And then when it did happen, it was like, okay, now it's time to start game planning as to how do we line everything up for when the kid comes.
Yeah.
And that's, again, there are people who are not in as cool situations as we are. But again, I've never really met people in like the low income situation that can sit center of those problems where it's like, well, this is because I either didn't go to school or didn't want to study when I was in school, or it's between that and, well, the people at these jobs are just assholes and they don't respect who I am as a person, blah, blah, blah. There's responsibility to be fucking taken here.
Yeah.
And if you get into bed, like this is one of the things that bothers me about my mom, because now Ken wanted to fucking start this goddamn topic.
Before you say that, I have a cousin who's a year younger than me. She has 5 kids by 4 different guys.
Jesus
and
Christmas.
She's got one more on the way, number 5.
Antonio Cromartie should be the fucking poster boy for this shit.
Yeah, he really should.
He has 10 kids with, I think, 9 women.
Fuck, man.
Dude, imagine that child. Like, that's why he played for like 15 years in the NFL.
Dude, I got 2 kids and I still look at them like I just spent $300 on shoes yesterday, just for shoes.
Oof. So the ending to my situation there is, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this in public, right? But it's like moms and or parents who, specifically if you go to Walmart, you will see this. They're the parents that almost in public with their kids act as though the kid is a burden, act as though the kid is a problem. Now, my mom had 5 kids with 2 different men. One set was triplets. And then me and my sister were before that by about 7 years. Every once in a while, I would get this inclination that Like, she didn't finish college. She didn't have a great job. Things weren't going great. Money was very tight all the time. And every once in a while, like, I would get snapped at and I would be like, I didn't get into bed for you. I didn't make you get there. And the thing that moms are always like, hey, I brought you in this world, bring you out of it. It's like, all right, simmer down. But I didn't ask you to be here. And it's the point of having a kid, other than just to procreate, is to bring another good human being into this world, which is sometimes why there's a lot of men that are like, I'm not going to be a good dad. I'm going to give this kid problems.
Like, I'm a shitty human being.
I might leave. I don't know. I am going to procreate a person that is then going to fuck up parts of society. Not going to do that. So my problem with this situation is it also allows a bunch of people to be that dad, to be that parent that says, I might be a shitty parent, but don't fucking blame me if I get to that point.
Yeah. Well,
I need to have an out.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, so I guess should start off with, even though I said I'm not a practicing Catholic anymore, but I'm a pretty faithful person. I would say I pretty much have like a very deep faith, not very religious in the sense of like,
like spiritual more than you are religious.
Yeah. But very, very deep faith. And like, I believe in Jesus and I love people, love God, love people, like simple. And so from the very beginning, when I had William, even when he was like a newborn baby, I would tell him like, this is my first time too. Like, we're in this together. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to do my best. But I would say like, this is like a privilege that I get to be your earthly mother. I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to get you to adulthood safely. I'm going to teach you how to be good to people. And from there, like, you're your own person. I don't own you. Like, I tell him that all the time. Like, you are your own person. I don't own you. It's just, I've been given this responsibility that I got to get you safely to the age of 18. And I'm going to do my very best to do that and set you up for success. And like we're just rolling in it together and we'll figure it out. But I mean, before I worked in infectious disease, I did actually did pediatric infectious disease for about 5 years. And so I spent a lot of time in the PICU. And I will tell you that seeing like, we have really high rates of child abuse in Bexar County, higher than the national average. And so when you see people that, beat their kids, kill their kids, whatever, it definitely like creates this weird conversation around things like abortion and people being, for lack of a better word, forced to have kids that they don't want. But I totally agree with you, Ken, that like if we educated women on like what kind of resources they have, there are people that will literally be like, I will pay you for you to give me that baby because I've been trying to have a kid and I can't. Like if we educated people and you have options, like, pregnancy is not the easiest thing, but it also is 9 months. I'm sorry. I hear a lot of women complain a lot about pregnancy and I'm like, it is 9 months of your life. It's not the most comfortable thing, but if you can endure it, like people have been doing this for thousands of years, you're going to be fine.
It's kind of like
women are going to hear this and they're going to crucify me for that. But it's true.
It's kind of like deployment. It's 9 months long. It's going to suck, but I'm going to get over it.
Yeah.
You can take hot shits and 110-degree porta-johns.
Bro,
you can do it.
Or you have to take a shit in a porta-john where the poop is all the way up to the top of the rim and you're like squatting a little bit. You're like, I think I can. I'm going to just spread them a little bit and just...
It's doable. Now, I'm not saying that like women should have to. Obviously, I look at Jess, but this, all right, so this is the other scenario that came into my head. Right. And again, like I said, I'm a little bit crazy and sometimes I talk to myself.
Oh, go ahead. Do it.
So what I thought about was, what is the situation? Because women are like, well, I'd have to carry this whole baby all the way to term and the man doesn't have to do anything. Man shouldn't say anything. I believe the part that I believe where men deserve a say somewhat, right? If I'm married to Jess is now 16 weeks pregnant.
It's not if you are.
Well, hey, my wedding ring is on the counter. So Jess is 16 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
In Florida, she could still get an abortion today. Okay. If Jess told me, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I don't want to do the kid thing anymore. I'm too scared. Or I went to the doctor. He said it's a high-risk pregnancy. I don't want to risk it. I don't want my body to change. Whatever the excuse was. Right. That's common, quote unquote. Right. Or she said, even if she said, I'm just scared or I don't want to be a mom. She can go do that on her own. And the only thing I can do about it is either physically try to restrain her
Or nod your
or
head.
divorce her.
Yeah.
Right? I have no, but I made that conscious agreement in that bedroom with her. Even if we didn't mean to have a kid, we already have the name, we already have the concepts, we already have the things like that we're going to do for the nursery. If I'm just like, I just spent a bunch of my money on nursery shit, which I haven't yet, but if I did,
that's the
I have
point
no
that-
say. I can't get any of that money back. I can't get any of that time or that emotion back. What if I sued for emotional damages at that point? Right?
But that's
What if I
Dave Chappelle-
divorced her and that's what I put on the fucking divorce decree?
That's where Dave Chappelle comes in when he said, women, can have kids and then charge me child support for, having kids. He's like, if a woman has the right to kill a baby, I have the right to abandon it. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. That's awesome.
I tend to agree with you, Steve. Like, and again, it's like not a very, and I'm not saying this because I'm sitting here with two men. Like, it's not a very feminist point of view, but it's how I feel. Like, I don't think it's this like it's my body, it's my right to do everything. Because I'm like, well, I mean, we could get into a whole other argument. The federal government says you can't just go ahead and shoot up heroin if you want to. I mean, this thing of like it's my body, I get to do what I want is sort of dependent on when people want it, when they want to use it, and when.
Don't even get me started with COVID.
And this is a really unique
my
situation.
body, my right, huh?
All right.
The fucking military sent 10,000 of those motherfuckers home. Now we're just, sorry.
Yeah.
This is birth control.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously, like you said, like you played a role in the making of this child, and if you believe that child, even at 16 weeks, that's a life, like you have a right, like not even talking about the money to say, like, I even on my own, I'll take care of that child. Like I have that right, that child's 50% mine. So I completely agree with you. So
that's the thing is the child 50% the father's? Because I feel like
100%. How could it not be?
Well, so women, I'm not saying all women. I'm saying if we're going with the they, like it's, you don't know who they are, the they would probably come back and say, that's my body. It's my choice. I'm carrying it. It affects me long term. It doesn't change your body, X, Y, and Z.
And then you pay for it. Then you pay for that child.
I gotta pay for that shit. Yeah. So I'm not saying under any circumstance that I should just be able to go tell my wife, like, hey, if you're scared, that baby's fucking staying in you, and if it kills you, it kills you. I get the kid. I'm not saying that, but if
that's fucked.
This is not Star Wars where I'm like, hey, Padme, you better fucking keep that kid, goddammit.
No, you're fine, dude. Continue. It's good.
But I'm saying there has to like some kind of accountability. If you're in a non-marital relationship, I think you should have, let's say that a married man who's having a kid with his wife, because at that point, like that changes marriage ultimately, probably a divorce, probably should be compensated for that, especially if you bought some like fucking child shit, right? But like a boyfriend, right now there's so many people that don't want to get married. It's like not in my place, whatever. So if they have a girlfriend who has a kid, right, it just comes down to how much responsibility is everybody supposed to take? Is there fair responsibility being taken? Is there double standards? And at the end of the day, are people actually being good people and realizing, because the other thing was with those parents is like, they look at it like it's a burden. They look at it like the kid is not what it really is,
but which is like, thing with like, those people are immature. Like, I know what you're saying. Like,
exactly my point. That
you go outside.
Are you being mature about the situation? Or are you sitting there trying to just escape a choice that you make? Because if I go out and I get a DUI tomorrow, that stuff, like that pit in my stomach, is the same one that a girl gets if she gets pregnant prematurely or like in high school. It's the same fucking one, because you know the next morning you're going to answer for your fucking problem. Your boss is going to know about it. Your parents are going to know about it. You know you're probably going to work some extra hours to cash out that fucking fine.
Because that extra dude is going to hit you hard.
Exactly. So that shit just sits in your stomach. And that is the responsibility that you have to take for what your actions were. That I hopefully support women and their right to choose and all that shit. We didn't do it during COVID for everybody. But in this situation, if you're going to get an abortion, are you taking responsibility for your action, or are you just trying to escape a bad decision you made? Because
So,
responsibility and decision are not different things. They're the same fucking thing.
yeah. I mean, and I think like tied into that also is like, can we get to a place like where we are not, and you can even put DUI in this, like where we are not like shaming people for their decisions, like even when they
Yes.
are poor decisions, that we can accept like this was maybe not a good choice, but like I'm not gonna shame you for it. And I feel like that is a lot of sometimes where women come from in these situations is like not wanting to deal with the shame of like, I got knocked up, wasn't with this guy, he's gonna make a bad dad, so I'm gonna be on my own and I don't want to have to deal with that, like, and the kind of outside pressure versus just being like, you know what, like stuff happens. I bet if we just, and I mean that may be like pie in the sky kind of thing, that we're gonna all of a sudden be a country
Societal
that
change.
yeah, societal change where we're like giving people grace and stuff, like we all make mistakes, but I mean, and just being able to like move from there, because I feel like anytime you're making a decision from a place of fear, and I feel like this in anything, you're setting yourself up for failure. And I think there are a lot of women that's what they're doing, is they're having abortions out of a place of fear versus like
Yeah.
being able to go into it with you do have some different options.
Jess is texting me from the
She can hear
video.
you. She can hear you. She's
She's
like, don't talk about
serious.
abortions. But no, it like I had my first kid when I was 19 years old, right? I'm 31 now. He's 12. One day he's gonna listen to this and go, "Oh man, I figured it out." You know, had my other kid, you know, my daughter when
He's gonna be way prouder than Kim Kardashian's kids that listen to her shit.
But my daughter is 4 years old, right? And I look at it, and when we had my son, you know, it went through the phases of how am I gonna be able to fucking take care of this kid? I'm in college, I'm working a job, I'm playing basketball, I'm trying to finish my engineering degree. You know, I got done, wrapped all this stuff up, realized I wasn't gonna get a great job doing what I wanted to do. I could have made it playing basketball, doing XYZ. But you know, then I kind of just pulled up my big boy pants and went, all right, I guess the army is what it is. And I joined the army, and for 12 years, until last year, I was in the army making sure he had everything he had until I knew that I was stable enough to get out and still give him the same stuff and his sister what they needed. It's just a matter of, you know, when we had my son, I wasn't in a financial position to do whatever I want to do like I do now. Like it wasn't the reality, but I didn't get stuck down on myself and go, oh, you know, well shit, I can't do this. I might as well, you know, give up and move on. It's, you know, it's more of an education and counseling thing. I think like more mental health sort of aspect. If people are not shamed by the choices that they make, like I don't judge anybody for any choice they make. I'll make a joke about it and laugh at them, but you know, at the end of the day, you made that choice, something good or something bad happened. How can I help you? That's what I go. I always automatically go to, how can I help you get to the next step? And they go, well, da da da, I need this, I need that. Like, okay, cool. You know, we found out Leo Franco, his car got broken into. I called 4 companies and they sent him all the shit that he needed. They replaced it all. And he was like, how did you do that? I'm like, well, you know, we have all these people on and they have all these resources. Why not help you out? I'm not going to sit there and go, haha, that sucks to be you, man. Peace. Like, I'm not going to do that. But that's what a lot of fathers do, especially in the Black community. I can say that for a fact is, you know, they never see around the street corner. You know, the fortunate thing that I got to do was through playing basketball and, you know, going to do all these little things with track and everything. I got to go to different states. I got to travel around the United States. And I was like, wow, there's all these things out here that I can do. And as soon as that bulb sparked in my head, I was like, oh man, I can do anything I want to do. And I just kept holding on to that same idea the whole time. And I'm pretty sure you're the same way. You know, you've thought through it that way. You know, you bought Ballistic CrossFit, didn't you?
No, I mean, that's Sabrina.
That's not your Sabrina? But yeah, like it's possible. Like everything is fucking possible, but you know, it's kind of like being a woman in CrossFit. How is that?
an old woman in CrossFit.
You're not old.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Steve put something on his Instagram about like, you know, why are people prepping for Murph? Isn't this what you do all year? And I kind of joked them. I was like, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And then I went back on it today and I put that vest on.
And you were like, fuck.
And I was like, this is why people prep for Murph. I've forgotten, because it's 100 degrees here. like wearing that vest, I'm like, I can't breathe. I'm like, just to keep it on for like 45 minutes and just like move through. I'm like, just like as soon as it's over, I'm like ripping it off and throwing it. I'm like, all right, that's what people Murph prep.
Yeah, that's exactly why I had
That's
to.
because people still try to do Murph the same way they would do the workout without the vest.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah.
can't do that.
No.
My coach wrote something the other day. He was like, you know, you're not great at strict handstand push-ups and you're horrible at burpees. I'm like, yeah. We had this very direct conversation. I was like, yeah, Connor. He's like, well, we're gonna change all that. I'm like, I thought we were fixing. He's like, yeah, we were fixing it, but I think I know what we need to do. He's like, you're gonna put a vest on all the time, and I was like, fuck you.
No.
Just like I had to do a workout. It was like a 500-meter ski with a vest and 5 rounds of 2 rope climbs and 8 burpee box jump overs of a 48-inch box and then a 500-meter ski at the end. He was like, all right, 15-minute time cap, and I went, say, and I got it done at like 14:58, and I was like, this is what Murph's gonna feel like, and it was 80 degrees outside. That was 2 days ago. I thought I was gonna die.
It was 106 yesterday.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I think it's 101 right now.
It's 90 outside right now in Colorado.
I sat by the pool today, and Friday I got a sweet little arm pump sesh. While this ankle is still holding up, because it's being a pain in the ass, I can't do any running, so I'm pretty much just kind of being an in-betweener.
And an anterior dorsiflexion.
I'm doing some like bodybuilding type shit and some bro lifting mixed with a little bit of like CrossFit.
Steve, banded ankle dorsiflexion.
Yes, I've fucking been doing that for 3.5 weeks now.
Need to keep doing it all the time. Put a band around that ankle and bend back.
That doesn't mean that I can just fucking run after I do that.
I didn't say run. I said rehab, bro. Rehab.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
It's so funny because today, like, I put on the vest and I was thinking, you know, and it's like 15 pounds because I have a 10-pound plate and then like a 5-pound weight. So, because it's supposed to be, I think, 14 for women. So I was like, all right, I can only make 15 pounds. So this is how it's going to work. And I was literally like doing push-ups and then I was laying there and I was thinking, how did I do this when I was pregnant? Not Murph. I didn't do Murph when I was pregnant, but like I started CrossFit in 2013. Got pregnant in 2014 and it was like new to CrossFit. So what do you do when you're new to CrossFit? You do all the CrossFit. Like that's what you do. And so I was like, just because I'm pregnant, like I'll be fine. I'll figure it out. But
she had 4 pairs of nanos by the 5th month.
No, I own no nanos. I actually have always said that I, for years, did CrossFit raw dog. I had no belt, no lifters, no grips, no nothing. So I was we're just raw.
That's how you got that baby. That's how you got that baby. Just raw dog and just like, yeah.
Tying those things together, yeah. But like, you know, when I was pregnant, like I literally did a workout when I was 39 weeks and 6 days pregnant. And it was thrusters and toes to bar, and I obviously couldn't do the toes to bar, so they were like, just do planks. But I was doing thrusters and literally like sitting there like, Lord, get this baby out of me. But I had like an extra 25, 30 pounds on, and so wearing that vest day, I was like, I don't know how I did it. I don't know how I did it. Like
slow build.
Yeah, that's true. But
probably had more muscle mass back then. It was just covered up with baby.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you just had the biggest like intercostal sheath
Takes
of muscle.
weight to move weight.
See, yeah.
You know, I was so squirrely when I started CrossFit because like I'm a product of like the 90s. Like there is nothing like white women in the 90s who just want to be as skinny as possible. So like that's what I grew up around. You know, like that was the thing. Like I really
men love butts.
White women.
Men love thighs, butts, arms, all that shit.
I was raised in the wrong environment because like I always say like I'm Nicki Minaj, like my my ass and thighs are where I'm thick at, like that's what it is. But I was raised in like an all white community early on.
I'm opposite of Ms. All my weight is in my belly and in my back, but then I'm toned in my legs and my thighs and my ass.
No, but like I ran all the time. I ran like 12 half marathons. Like was just I think probably just trying to be as skinny as possible. So I was probably about 25 pounds lighter when I started CrossFit than I am now. Like I was a squirrely little thing. But
she was flying all over those rings.
I'm just Instagram stalking you right now.
Oh no, I don't even think I have old pictures on my.
Pull it up.
There was a couple. I'm gonna look at all these. I'm
gonna screen share.
I'm gonna screen share it like a motherfucker. Yeah. Wait, you did the fittest experience?
I did.
Oh,
I've done it for like 5 years, 5-6 years.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Bam. Here we go.
What's that a list of?
This is you in the
Is that
middle.
all the people?
That's me.
This is. Yeah.
Yeah, she used to be 1/4 of the Ballistic CrossFit team.
Yeah.
And now she's my teammate, so everybody back the fuck off.
You can squat a house, can't you?
Yeah. pretty close.
Aww.
Oh yeah, that's me. Professional pharmacist photo. There.
Is that your LinkedIn picture right there?
I don't have LinkedIn.
Wait, why?
I don't really know like how it works.
I'll send you
I
a
don't know.
tutorial, and it'll be
Okay.
really easy.
Okay. I mean, I just like who am I gonna get linked into? I don't.
Me, Steve. I don't know. Fucking Jeff.
I don't have a
Bezos.
LinkedIn yet.
Why do you not have a LinkedIn yet? Oh my
Well,
god.
who the army? Really? That's the only fucking person I want to talk to right now?
Steve.
Oh, speaking of army stuff, I found out that my dad has a Wikipedia page. Some
Wait,
of
your
the stuff on
dad
there, I'm
does?
not sure. Yes.
What is your dad's name?
Does
Michael?
it say like
Oates, Oates.
Like Hall and Oates?
Yes, exactly like Hall & Oates.
Wait, that's your
Oh,
dad?
That's my dad. Yeah.
That's
I
your
think his
daddy?
Yeah.
This man had stars?
Yeah.
Are you fucking with me, right?
No, that's him.
Michael Lee Oates, United States Lieutenant General?
Oh, I know who your dad is. Oh, shit. I've seen your dad before.
He's
obviously
retired
there's
now,
a
but-
picture.
No, you jackass. I'm talking about at my graduation.
Ooh.
That's insane.
Wait, scroll back up a little bit. Hang on. No, go to awards and decorations, motherfucker.
Bam, I will.
Jesus Christ.
Look at that.
He
That's a handsome
retired a
man.
3-star?
Yeah.
Damn.
So combat infantry badge, ranger, senior parachute badge. Oh fuck.
Dang, he had a lot of jumps. It's over
Pathfinders,
Aerosol.
Joint Chief of Staff. And
Yeah. He was in a he was in a Joint Chiefs of Staff.
Mm-hmm.
Army Staff Indication badge. 10th Mountain Division Combat.
What company is your dad running right now that he's out?
Well, he was like a vice president at Lockheed Martin. And then he
no offense,
retired
but
from
shocker
that.
there.
And then now he works on the ranch that my parents have in Kerrville. So he's like
loving his
he does
life.
Meritorious
Yeah.
Service, Defense Meritorious Service, Bronze Star with 2 oak leaf clusters. Holy
He got
fuck.
a Legion of Merit.
with an
Legion of
oak leaf cluster.
He got 2 up. Fuck me. What?
Army
spent
Distinguished
a lot of
Service
time
Medal
overseas. Yeah, he spent
with
a lot of
2
time
oak
overseas.
leaf clusters.
I don't know what any of that stuff means. I'm gonna be honest with you.
So a Legion of Merit is like so hard. Like you have to be at like Division Command, then hit.
Hey, I have as many ARCOMs as he does, so
Hit well, this is probably not up to date, but like the highest I have, ARCOM is the highest I have, and I have 6.
you didn't have a meritorious service after you retired?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
They wrote
fuck
me
your
another-
command.
Yeah, they wrote me a really nice ARCOM, and I was like, oh, thank you.
The fuck.
Yeah. I got 6 of
my
them.
shit.
6.
You should have. You retired as a captain. You should have had a meritorious service.
Yeah, I
medal.
should have got MSM. But
Yeah,
you know,
fuck them.
that's still
Korea
crazy.
Defense, Iraq, Southeast Asia Service Medal. Where was he? Vietnam.
No, he's not that
No,
old.
fuck no, man.
I don't know.
People got
Tell me
that.
what else is in fucking Southeast Asia,
No.
guys.
People got that for going to Korea before the Korean service medal
Oh.
was enacted.
Mm.
Southeast? Are you fucking kidding me? It's up near fucking Russia.
No, it counts as Southeast.
It doesn't count as Southeast to me.
Either that or he had a really. What units was he in? I wonder if he was in some. Wait,
I
10th
don't know.
Mountain. No,
It's a good
He was
thing
in-
Liz isn't here just giving us fucking all the answers that we have. It's like we have to go chase for him a little bit.
No, he was at 10th Mountain twice because once when I was in like the 5th grade, but so I don't know what he
Oh.
was doing then, and then he was back as a division commander. But at that point, I was in college. so-
There's Liz's name. Liz is mentioned.
Wait, where?
So-
I don't see it.
Up right
He
there.
has 3
Elizabeth
daughters, so
Margaret.
there we are.
Oh, there we are.
Damn. Citation needed.
Commissioned as an infantry
Proof.
officer's graduation. He's a West Point grad of 1979.
Yeah.
He was
Mission
bound to get a
duty
star
station.
then.
Yeah.
No, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
Service included in the 2nd Battalion, 7th Cavalry, 1st. I hate these fucking goddamn the
You
way
know
they put
what's
these. So he's at
what's
Fort
crazy? Yeah. So my dad.
He was in
the military
Panama?
too. Yeah, that's where I was born.
Yeah.
Panama in the 80s, man. Like they
Was
went to
he?
Colombia.
Was he a part of the?
1985.
Was he in the? Was he a part of the infill of Panama?
Probably.
Under Milley?
Oh yeah, 100%. Brother
General
was.
Milley was part of the 82nd Airborne that jumped in there and fucked that shit up. And then, I mean, if he was a part of the 187th, so
let's see.
I mean that's a good assignment. He was in the
yeah.
101st tactical assignments, 101st Fort Campbell.
As
a commander, the 10th Mountain Division, Fort Drum.
Jesus.
And then 100. He was the commander of the 101st.
Yeah.
He was assistant
first
division
brigade.
commander.
Assistant.
Yeah, I see where it says that. The commander, and then
he did 10th Mountain. That man was pumping people.
10th Mountain Division Light.
Dude,
yeah.
Boys rucking. So, what was your dad's? If you know, because I don't think this tells us. He was. Oh wait, no. Actually, hang on. It said he was an infantry officer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, my dad grew up like pretty poor family, single mom, like nurse, has 2 brothers. He was kind of like the kid that he had to get like donations to go to a private school, but kind of like fought his way. And I think from his mom, like my grandmother was just a badass, which by the way, she drove General MacArthur's car when she was 18 years old. She joined the military, my grandmother, and she ended up like in like a motor pool thing, and she was driving for General MacArthur, which is crazy. So anyway, but she like when she got out of the military, because I think you back then you had to get out of the army when you were pregnant, when you were a woman. So she got pregnant, she had to leave. So she became a nurse and kind of just like worked her ass off. My dad, was lucky enough to go to West Point, and kind of go from there. But he's just like the most. We're talking about like dads and parenting, like the most awesome dad. And for having 3 daughters, being like a military officer, like he was so involved with us all the time. Like couldn't have asked for a better dad. But,
oh, that's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
See, her family military lineage puts both of our services to shit.
Yeah, at least you got a daddy. Damn, both of y'all. Fuck y'all.
My dad died when I was 9, asshole.
At least you got him for 9 years.
I was just as troubled of a child as you were. Don't try to take my fucking.
I had to find a father figure for my drunk uncles. There you go, bam, and I ended up.
My mom sent me to Catholic school to find.
Ken, what's your story? What's your story?
My story?
Oh God, you had to fucking start this.
Yeah, she asked.
All right, hang on. Let me see if I can do this for him.
Let's see. Yeah.
Grew up in Tennessee on a pig farm. Mm-hmm. Every morning when the sun came up, he was either out of bed working or in school. Yeah. And then when he came home, he would have to do everything anyways. He picked up a basketball sometime around, I don't know, like 9th or 10th grade.
Yeah.
And was just phenomenal at it. Just decided to put his dunking skills and put his nuts on white boys' faces for a while. Played some D1 basketball. Then he, like he said, had kids, joined the army. But his story is pretty much that. He picked up a barbell somewhere around like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. He goes extremely heavy shit all the fucking time. Just because he's naturally gifted at it, but it's small flex all the time.
Just a big plow pulling black dude. Yep. There was no horse back
When was the last time you pulled a plow?
No, I'm talking about my people. That's how you get this. That's how this happens. This happens because of
selective breeding.
Yep.
You're welcome.
Both of your families. Yep. Thank both.
Beautiful genetics. This is beautiful genetics.
Somewhere down the line, there's a possibility that my folks, my lineage,
own me.
But not you. Something we don't know, but we're saying that white people's aversion of black people led to selective breeding, which led to some of the terrific athletes.
I actually hope that it was, Elizabeth's family that owned me, because that down on.
I hope it was Helen Keller's.
Oh, well, that's fucked. What is this thing about Helen Keller?
First of all, if you didn't know, Helen Keller was a fraud.
Wait, why do you say she's a fraud? Wait, get into this. Why is she a fraud?
First of all, I will refer everybody to another podcast called Softcore History. It's a terrific fucking name.
I'm looking this up.
Softcore History, Helen Keller was a fraud. It is a terrific episode. People also believe that Helen Keller was a part of 9/11. I don't know how that's fucking possible. I'd have to research that more. That's a big conspiracy theory. But essentially, there's a bunch of shit that happened in Helen Keller's life that she got credit for, but there's no fucking way that she did it. Right?
I'm looking at it right now.
Like horseback riding. They're like, oh yeah, she was A genuine horseback rider all by herself. Not a fucking chance. That horse would have been going in fucking circles and riding into trees.
That is true. What? Wait. Pause for a second. Did she have any kids? Did she have kids?
I don't know. I think there's a thing about it.
Wait. I'm gonna Google this because this is pretty.
I want to know what man essentially raped a woman to have kids. It's no fucking like you can't sign language that shit.
You can't.
Oh my
God. Like Helen, we're gonna need you to sit still for a little bit. That thing that you probably have never figured out how to do. Wait, you don't know that it fucking exists.
She never married or had any children, apparently.
Okay, good.
But was she DJ handed it? Like, what was going on?
I don't fucking know, man.
Elizabeth's looking at me like,
go listen to that.
I'm just wondering, have I been lied to? Like, I've heard so many stories about Helen Keller and school.
I watched a movie about it.
Did someone just decide, like, you know what? Like, we're gonna market the shit out of this for like people with disabilities or something, and like she is gonna be our poster child, and it doesn't matter if it's true. Like,
you want to hear a really fucked up story?
The shit out of it, like.
You want to hear a really fucked up story, Ken?
Go ahead. Always. Yeah, I do all the time. I just have the funniest idea in my head about how. In
Colorado Springs, there's a school for the deaf and the blind. Well, so. One time I was out driving with my ex, and we pull up to the stop sign, and there is a track that goes around the school. It's a legitimate track. Like, it's not just like a walkway. It's a legitimate track on the ground of the school. So there's a huge, like, big gate that goes all the way around the school because it's like it looks like an old mansion property that they probably converted. But then inside the gate, there's a legit, like, not turf track. What is it? Rubber track the entire way around. And so I drive around the school and I'm like, what is this place? Like, is that a high school? And eventually my ex goes, she's like, oh, it's a school for the deaf and the blind. I was like, what the fuck do they have a track for? It's not like they can see where they're going anyways. So I started dying for a second. And then I was like, what are their handrails for? Do they just like put these kids on the fucking handrails and make them walk around the school?
I mean, I don't know that much, but like I'm pretty sure like deafness and blindness is like on a spectrum. Like,
wait.
Then the other thing was that I said, "Oh, is this big fence around the school? Is that built to keep them all in so that the blind kids don't wander off and the deaf kids don't get into traffic?"
Why does that? Wait, I got a question.
You're gonna have to go find the school now and tell me that you don't feel the same way.
Wait, what's the name of the school?
I have no fucking clue, but it's downtown near Colorado College.
Oh God, I have a question. Wait, there's a joke that just.
You could probably Google Maps this shit and say that. It was fucking hysterical.
It says, "Why does Helen Keller use her left hand to play with herself?"
No, we're not getting into all of that.
We're doing it. Yep.
No, we're not.
Too late. We already did.
Why, Ken?
Because she used her right hand to moan.
That's disgusting.
That's fucked up. I had to say it. I just saw it on Google.
Oh my God. We're going to have to add, like, the American Disabilities Association to the list of people that are going to cancel you guys.
All right, so let me also be the other person. First of all, so if you go to Softcore History,
I found the school.
There's an episode from February 14th called The Helen Keller 9/11 Connection with Jesse Wiseman.
What the fuck?
But it explains how she's a fraud and how she might be connected to 9/11. They do like really funny stories based off of like actual history, and they find like real facts and shit. But I thought it was just fucking hysterical.
Wait, I found this school.
Oh,
there's a fence around the whole thing. Holy shit.
It looks like a prison or
wait,
no,
wait.
Literally, it looks like what you would picture, like a manor, like an old house, and then there's just like it says a school donated for the deaf and the blind or whatever.
Colorado School for the Deaf and the Blind.
Okay, so there's another story about deaf people that is also funny.
Let's go ahead and bat 100.
In Colorado, we're gonna bat 1,000. Okay.
Yeah.
In Colorado, there is a school for the deaf that is not in Colorado Springs. but they won the state championship about 2 or 3 years ago in football.
How? This
On
is the track.
silent counts, brother. But
Look at this track. It's
so I asked a genuine question. I was like, wait a second. How do the kids like celebrate? How do they have play calls? Like, do you like sign language play calls? And somebody goes, no, they just use the same like square block that Oregon used to use with the different pictures on it.
This is so fucked up.
I was fucking dying.
We're going straight to hell. We're going to hell, man.
Oh my god! I think people are gonna be laughing about that. My mother-in-law is gonna have a fucking field day with this.
This is probably one of the funniest episodes we've ever had. This is pretty funny. Elizabeth's just down here just receiving all of it, just like, oh my fucking god. She's like, all the shit that I think about, they're saying it. Look.
I love it. No, it's
Good
great.
Jesus.
Okay, here's a legit question for you.
Oh, right. Now we're going to legit.
Yeah. Here we go. Andrew Hiller, right, was talking about all these like no reps, and then he basically broke David Hippenstall down into little pieces. Because if you saw that video, you'd look at it and go, "What the actual fuck is that?"
Hang on, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Keep going though.
But yeah, I mean, do you think that like, well, how many years have you been doing this first of all?
So I guess what 2013 to 2012, so 9 years, yeah.
Wow, I'm a child.
2022, what am I saying? Yeah.
3 years into this, I feel like a fucking child. Anyways. But yeah, like, do you think that they need to professionalize judging in CrossFit? Do you think they need to do that? Or like, how would they fix all the issues they have with all these videos? They hire more people, or what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, because I definitely am of the, with starting in 2013 in the era of like regionals and all of that, I'm always one of those people who's like, I'll post stuff on Instagram or I'll respond on Instagram, RIP regionals, because, it was just like, it was the thing. I mean, you made it through the open and the top people went to regionals, and there you could have some like slightly more professional type coaching that went on, and you could kind of trust the results a little bit more. Now, I mean, I don't know what the answer to it is, just because the number of people involved in CrossFit now and like worldwide compared to what it was in 2013 is just so different. And I've thought about this a lot, because seeing people's videos and seeing like some of the judging things and like seeing what this guy Hiller is putting out there, and I'm like, how do you put this back in the box? Like, now that it's expanded so much, and especially with COVID making everything virtual. And I don't know if you remember, a few years ago there was a guy who actually submitted a video and he just time lapsed his video. It was 10 rounds and he just played it on repeat.
Yeah, it was 20.1, the burpees and the ground overhead.
Yeah, like, I mean, people are going to try and find ways to cut corners for sure. And I don't know now with this many people how you do it other than having more professional coaching and more like localized events. They're worried that, I guess, that like going back to the regionals format, they're worried that that's going to limit people in like South America, that they're not going to get the same chances as people in North America or, whatever. And I get that that's something that they're going to have to work on, but I don't know, without putting it in person and having more professional judges at some earlier caliber in the what am I trying to say? And like the progression from the open to the games, I don't think anyone's going to be able to trust it anymore, because quarterfinals just seems like a bunch of bullshit to me.
Yeah, it was a bunch of bullshit, because I did that fucking shuttle run and wall ball workout. I did that to the T, exactly how it was supposed to be done. Did a TBO. My video's up there if anybody wants to go look at it. Like, that, the way that people cheated on that was so bad, because one girl said she did it, one woman said she did it in 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I was like, that's how long it takes you to do Karen. And Karen is 150 wall balls. There were 128 wall balls in that workout by itself, not including shuttle sprints. Like, how do you not read the paper and see it goes down and back as one shuttle sprint, not down as one and two, three? That's not how it works. Like, read, like, educate yourself. Like, we keep going back to this whole thing about education, informing people. If people just read and informed themselves and educate themselves about what's going on, it would change a lot of things. But also, that judges scores that they have, you could just click through it and just guess numbers if you wanted to just get through it, and then you could judge anybody pretty much anytime, anywhere. And I think what Andrew Hiller's doing makes a lot of sense, and it's really good. I don't agree with particularly the aggression of the first few videos, but now seeing him like kind of professionalize what he's doing, I'm like, good for you, man. Like, you need to point out some of these things people are doing, like the David Hippensteel thing. I have it pulled up here. I'm gonna show it to you guys. It's pretty terrible.
While you're pulling that up, I don't know if you guys, he posted something Hiller did on his Instagram, and he commented about the judge who judged Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet at the 2015 games in the snatch ladder, and how she was like crying and bitching and complaining because he was telling her to squat lower, and he was like, all she had to do was squat lower. And it's crazy because the guy, Chelly told me this, the guy who judged that, he's from San Antonio, runs a gym here. He's the guy who runs the Power Output, Steve.
Oh,
He
wow.
runs that. Yeah, and he was like, I mean, you have like a top athlete at that point. I guess she won the games right around then, 2014, 2015,
Yeah,
2016.
I think it was 2014.
Yeah, you have a top athlete, and he's like, squat lower, and she's bitching and complaining about it, and it's like, it is what it is, just squat lower, you know?
Well, she's
And I
also,
remember,
if you haven't met her yet, I'm gonna burn every single CrossFit bridge I have.
oh,
No, go ahead.
She's a fucking bitch.
I can tell you, because she, and I'm probably gonna get blasted for this too,
Wait,
at
no,
regionals.
Do it. I'll turn this off. Continue. Story time.
Here's the black man telling the white people to fuck up your social circles. Do it.
I don't care.
Mine already
I'm
fucked.
Like everybody hates you.
I'm like, none of this is gonna impact how I make my money, so fuck it, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, I have a job.
Doesn't matter to me. Yeah.
Army hates CrossFit.
Chelly's been to regionals from like, I don't know. She started CrossFit in 2010 or something like that. She's been to regionals pretty much every year. She took 1 year off because she didn't want to. She qualified, but up until 2018. And I think it was in 2018 that it was in Utah, and Camille was there, and they were practicing walking up the obstacle course, the handstand obstacle, and Chelly's standing there like trying to brace herself, getting ready to walk over it. And Camille just walks in front of her and like, she's like, didn't say shit to me, didn't say like, excuse me, I'm gonna like take a chance. She's like, she comes back there and just acts like she runs the place, like just no. And she was like, I mean, whatever, like you're the person, and I'm just
Her husband Dave is a dude. So I got my level 1 at CrossFit Roots in Boulder, Colorado, or technically Aurora area. So she was on level 1 staff, and then I guess she heard that somebody else was on level 1 staff, and her husband said, like, day before I cut, and we're like, nah, we're not gonna do that one. And so they sent Brian Shantosh to the fucking thing, and I think like Sri Chan as well. So there was like, we had some cool people there, but she was known for doing level 1s out of that gym because she was known for being at that gym. She and her husband, like, I'm sure like they're probably cool people to hang out with, but like from what I've seen, she does look like one of those kind of fake Instagrammers now. That's like, hey, I used to do CrossFit. Now she's in bodybuilding now.
I'll show you guys something. Watch this.
Good for her, but
10K, right? With her and her husband. 23K with her butt. 17K with her butt.
Now show me.
17K.
Now show me a
formula.
meme of her crying, and I bet you that thing is probably like 100K.
A meme of her crying? I don't even know where you would.
Dude, just Google Camille LeBlanc crying. It is the greatest meme picture I think I've ever seen in my life.
You know,
oh God, there's like, a GIF.
Yeah, talking about judging.
Go ahead.
They even put that in the next document.
I remember too, like Chelly has this big bun, you know, like she always has her hair up in a bun, and at regionals they said that was an unfair advantage in the handstand push-ups, and so she had to like take her bun and like move it back here. Like it was so serious. We were talking about professional judging, Steve, when you stepped out. Like, is that where CrossFit needs to go? And I'm like,
100%. But I think there needs to be I guess more of a course that they need to offer, right? And actually put these guys through like the ringer, where it's like, hey, we're gonna have possibly like a week-long thing before the competition. It's gonna cost money, but it's for the integrity of the sport.
Yeah.
Or they need to have review.
Yeah.
I think
otherwise CrossFit's gonna lose all their credibility.
Oh yeah.
Because I think you could easily, with the amount of cameras that they have at each station, I think you could just have a review system where it's like, if there's a coach that is like out, because everybody, to have your coach out on the floor or to have them on the first floor, you have to have them registered as your coach, put in the paperwork, all that stuff, and be like, this is the person who trains me. Those people should have a challenge flag. If you're not going to give us like legitimate, because nobody should be paid 50, 60K to work for CrossFit as a judge. Not a fucking deal. Mm-hmm. If you want to work an event and pay them like 5K, could be more manageable, but still then you have a certain amount of judges. I'd probably say like 12 to 15, right? Okay, well now you got to book out 15 times $5,000. That's a lot of money,
15
right?
times 5.
But Eric Rosa has a lot of fucking money, so start fucking finding the money, Eric. But if you had like a review system where it's like, hey, as a coach, I should be paying attention to my athlete, but I see this person specifically not locking out on like lunges with like something overhead, seeing like this thing moving. Throw that challenge flag. Be like, hey, the end of this.
But two parts, like away from the actual in competition judging, like at the games or a semifinal, if they did the thing that the Army did with rating profiles. So like essentially as a judge, you get a profile, right? Mm-hmm. You judge X person. They submit a video, your name's attached to it. If there's so many no reps in there and you didn't catch them, your rater profile goes down low. And then eventually when you hit a certain cap or threshold, you're no longer qualified to be a judge. Yep. They do that. And then on top of that piece of it,
that would be good.
On top of them doing their rater profile thing, the videos, if someone doesn't set up the floor exactly like they said in the video with the angle, I mean, some other things could be out of place, but if you don't set that camera up at an angle to the T like they said, then you're invalid. Like, I'm not even going to look at your video, invalid, your score is deleted. Like, they're treating this like there's not 250,000 other people that want to do this too. They're treating it like,
do it right.
Yeah, they're going to do it right.
I think Hayes or somebody said it the other day, and it was like, yeah, you could bump up somebody from that other 250,000, but are you getting the fittest person in that slot?
But also fitness comes with mental acuity. If you're not mentally inept to like get a dude to read the fucking thing and set up your like literally Boz came out before quarterfinals started. He sent out an email to everybody. He said, hey, make sure you have a dedicated film crew. If you do that, you don't have to worry about it. It's like it takes one thing off your plate and you know your shit's always good. I was like,
and that's a part of being a professional athlete.
Exactly.
That's not like, oh, CrossFit charged me $20 for the open, more money for this, that, and I can get a film crew. Like, yeah, motherfucker. If you're gonna be a fucking professional athlete, hire a fucking crew.
But that's the fucked up thing is that when I was at TBO doing quarterfinals, Tudor had to do his workout, right? Hayes had to do his workout. As soon as one of us got done and the next one was up, we go over there, we measure everything out again. The person working out only had to focus on warming up. It was me, James, whomever else, Tudor, and another guy. It was 5 of us. And we would go through, look at the paper, go, okay, we need to do this, measure, record, come over and say your fucking name. It's like, workout 5 or whatever, bam. All right, they start. And we're sitting there and someone is in the frame with a piece of paper. It didn't have to be all the exact reps on the piece of paper. Like, hey, I had a piece of paper looking at like, all right, yep, you're hitting depth. All right, your GHDs are fine. Your pistols are to depth. Okay, cool. Moving on. You know, if they institute like a rater profile thing and had you register in the system as a judge, and if you gave out enough bullshit scores to compare with those videos, then yeah, they can fire you. As I can tell you, you're not allowed to even pay us money to be a judge.
Yeah. And if you're good enough to be in those situations, you should also, I mean, in the quarterfinals things, like we had Sabrina, we had Dakota, we had 2 or 3 extra people there. Make somebody else an extra judge. Have them fucking surround you, walk around and be like, hey, not that one.
Yep.
And like that judge will be like, no. Be like, no, he didn't hit depth. All right, cool. Hey, man, you got 2 more.
Yep. Keep going. That's 2 seconds. Like if you hit depth, you wouldn't lose the 2 seconds. But you didn't hit depth, so you lost time. Sucks to suck. That's like taking
that's like taking an Army PT test and not having the correct amount of graders, even if it's just for one person. If you know you need a grader, an OIC, a clock manager, if you try to do that with 2 people and you're just like, oh, hey, by the way, my fucking grade, I failed, but hey, there was only 2 graders. Well, those graders don't have anything to say. You know you needed 3. Fucking have 3 people there. So do your fucking homework.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, like, yeah, you may lose out like from year to year on some people that, you said are you gonna get the fittest people there. There may be some people that don't make it because of these things, but I guarantee you
Hmm.
that shit'll work itself out real quick when people
Hmm.
realize like I'm gonna risk not being able to go. I
True.
mean, you got Carrie Pierce what got COVID at the games didn't even get to participate, or she
Yep.
was potentially a contender. Like shit happens, but like the stuff that you can control like that, like having your camera set up and doing your reps the way you're supposed to, like if people realize like if you don't, it's invalidated. You're not getting some bullshit 30-second penalty. When people are
Yeah.
like, fuck it, I won't follow the rules. They're gonna give me a 30-second penalty and I'll just move it along. Like
Exactly.
that is
You know
it's
what?
crazy. It's crazy to me.
That's
I
insane.
hate the idea that Carrie Pierce and that group got fucked out of the games last year,
That's
because
Yeah.
stupid.
especially now, like what we know now, right?
Yeah.
Of like just COVID in general. But the rest of the group, I know Danielle Brandon got to go because she never
She had
tested
to.
positive,
She
but
had to
I
have
had
3 lanes between
segregate
her.
and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end, every athlete legitimately was like she was off in the corner and she got some award. And then I think there was like Tia Toomey and somebody else was like, nah, fuck that shit. Fuck your stupid rules, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Took her fucking mask off, brought her over with everybody else to
Yeah.
eat pizza and drink beer. And I was like, we couldn't have done that at the beginning. Just ask all the athletes, hey, are you guys comfortable with this?
Like, I don't give a
Yes,
fuck.
no. Because Carrie Pierce, I mean, maybe that's why they didn't do it, because Carrie Pierce was probably going to fucking take like fourth or fifth.
Yeah, she would have probably got
Hey,
like
if
third.
if
We
you
got
can knock
second.
Matt Fraser off the fucking top of the leaderboard by being like, hey, he's got COVID, somebody else is going to win the games.
Yeah. But that whole, that whole thing with the COVID stuff and then the drug testing kind of fucks me up, because the way they do drug testing, right, Steve, Liz? If you know, Liz,
At the games?
tell us how they do drug testing across the whole thing.
Well, I don't want to misspeak on how specifically CrossFit does drug testing, but there are a lot of different ways that you can do drug testing when it comes to
Mhm.
like urine samples, hair samples, blood samples, and then even beyond that, like how much you break down like certain categories of drugs. They're not obviously worried about people testing positive for narcotics. Like I'm at
Cocaine.
University Hospital and we're like, all right, we got to know,
Okay.
is it actually morphine or is it heroin or is it methadone or what is it? Like
Yeah.
it's not like that. But my understanding of the way that CrossFit or just like sports in general, with the exception of maybe the Olympics, I think the Olympics is probably going to like a whole other degree, is they're not doing, like, you should ideally have like multiple body samples at different time points, and really kind of like the highest level being able to kind of break down what you're looking at as far as active drug, metabolite, like all of those different components. I'm not aware that CrossFit is doing all of that. It seems very targeted what they're doing. So
I can't wait for one of these dudes to just get popped.
Yeah.
Oh, but when Ricky Garrard got popped for SARMs, like it wasn't. He didn't get popped for steroids. It was a steroid. It's just SARM, selective
It was a
androgen
recovery
receptor
effort.
modules. It was a recovery kind of thing. Like, I wish I could take it, but essentially someone knew that he had possibly taken SARMs and told on him and said he's probably taken SARMs, and they made him pee in a cup, and they're like, oh yeah, post games you had SARMs in your system. They weren't even tested for that.
Yeah, because it has to be very. Those are very targeted
Very
things. These are not like
specific.
standard drug panel things.
So it wasn't on the do not use list?
It's on the do not use list. Though, like, I have the drug policy pulled up right here. It's on the do not
Was
use
it at
list.
the time?
Yes, it is on there, but they don't.
The way you said that, it sounded like somebody told on him and was like, hey, he took this thing that makes you really good at recovering.
That's what happened. Someone said, hey, I think Ricky Garrard's taking SARMs.
Yes, but the way you originally said it, it sounded like SARMs wasn't on the list. But they were like, hey, that SARMs thing does this.
No, it's
go get his ass.
But they also pick and choose through conversations with people that I know that are in this sport, and they, I asked them like legitimate questions. I'm not gonna say their names, but they're like, yeah, it's not like when you're in college and they tell you to pee and then you have to, like, when I was in college and I had to pee, like, they would come, like Matt Fraser said, they would come to your class and they would fucking sit there. I had a dude sit in one of my Pro E lab classes for engineering. He just sat there with me, and I'm like, the teacher's like, who is this dude? Was like, well, he's from NCAA. He gotta watch me pee in a cup. I just don't have to go yet. Is it okay if he sits in here? And he's like, yeah, you can sit here. He sat there for fucking 3 hours, and I leave out, and I'm like, I finally got to pee. And he's like, here's your cup, and go and do it. But it's
One
not
yonder.
Yeah, but in CrossFit, they don't they say they test you every quarter. So they say, all right, December the 31st, you're going to get tested on that quarter. March 31st, June 30th, September 30th, takes you all the way up to a full year, right? They don't test everybody like that. Everybody
That's what I was
doesn't
going to
get.
ask. When do you get on that list
You get on the list when you
of like that? I've made it.
when you qualify for a semifinal. You have to go and register yourself. You have to declare anything that may or may not be in your system. But if you declare it, your sanction for declaring it is way less than if you don't declare it. So like if Ricky had came out and said, yeah, I was taking SARMs, year, instead of 4 years, it'd been 2. Or it'd have been less.
I still can't believe it's been 4 years.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
I feel like it's only been like 3.
But that's the messed up thing. Like you had that whole Christmas Abbott thing where she's like, yeah, my boyfriend came inside of me and then, there's steroids in me. I'm like, nah, that's not how that works, dog. It's metabolized by the time it makes it to semen, bro. It's not. Elizabeth laughs. She's like, oh, fuck.
Good Jesus. He spit in my mouth and then it gave me.
Spit in my mouth. I got
steroids.
Like his sweat got on me, but legitimately, if you're using like a topical testosterone treatment, that can happen to women.
What? Like me using tea?
In your sweat?
Yeah, in your sweat. So like if you had low testosterone, you use a topical testosterone ointment and then just did professional sports and you guys had sex or laid together and it got in her skin, her levels would go up past her baseline and she could be deemed as like unfit and using drugs. And she could be
Aaliyah Thomas?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Aaliyah Thomas. She could be real strong.
While we're
That's
in
the
the
next topic. Yep, go ahead, Liz. Tell us about how you feel about that.
We're not gonna throw Liz to the wolves like that.
No, we are. We're gonna do it.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Leah Thomas? Oh,
Leah Thomas,
don't even.
the swimmer.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Okay.
All right, no, hang on. Let me do my best.
Maybe I know and I don't know
So
the name.
So Leah Thomas was the trans swimmer from University of Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Broke
I didn't
a
know
bunch
that was
of
her name.
records, blah blah
Sorry.
blah.
Yeah.
The X, Y, and Z. So I actually listened to another podcast the other day of a girl on Drinking Bros podcast, and she went to the University of Kentucky, and she was a very good swimmer there, but she swam against Leah in the national championships, and she kind of went through the argument that people had of like, hey, like, why would you just not swim? Why wouldn't all the girls just not enter the pool, just let her swim on her own and just like boycott it? And she was like, well, some girls, like, you're looking at a scholarship, like, so like anybody who's in that race that's not a senior at the end of the year, you're going to lose your scholarship the next year, right? Like, because the school's just going to be like, what are you doing? But she was like, there was a couple of seniors that came together and they're like, well, like, we've already been beat by her all year. Let's just try to get what we can. And she's one of the girls. She went to University of Kentucky. She qualified for the Olympics, as did like 3 of the other like 5 girls in the pool. And she was like, so we're sitting at this situation where there's a girl in the pool that clearly has an advantage who did not actually qualify under the Olympic rules for swimming, but we all have to qualify for that, right? Like, this girl could, like, the Olympics have rules that are stricter than the NCAA's for the whole trans movement and whatnot. But
FYI, Leah Thomas has a big old dick.
Yeah, she still has not locked that thing off yet.
Like, look at this thing. It's got some girth to it.
Well, also, I'm pretty sure she's wearing Spanx.
Yeah, and look at that too. There's a little moose knuckle there.
So the thing I have with this situation is again, accountability in a small sense of like, just let's all stop acting like human beings are not human beings. Let's not play. I don't want to say there's delusion to it, because some people, there are studies that say otherwise. But again, there's studies that say other wild things in the world. I think if a creature, a being walks into a pool and broader shoulders that move faster, more repetitions, over time, stamina is greater just because of muscular build, and then the amount of time that creature was a man, nothing that these girls can do. These girls can train their ass off, and somebody beat her in the year by like a long shot. People say that she held it back so that it looked like she didn't win or whatever, because she wasn't good enough. But like those 3 girls are sitting there because everybody was like, "Hey, we're gonna deal with this by saying like, hey, that person has not accepted." Because the other story goes that Leah essentially does not care. Like there was a bunch of teammates that came out and were like, "Hey, in the locker room,
naked,
big old swinging
dick.
Shit." It's just like we were told if you say anything about it, you're off the team.
And Leah still fucks ladies.
Neither here nor there on that one.
No. She was asked in an interview, and she said, "Yeah, I'm a lesbian."
Yeah, but I'm saying to each their own. But I think in that sense, if you're going to walk into a locker room with the rest of your teammates and just kind of be like, "Hey, I am going to beat all of you all the time. Then I'm going to go out and beat everybody else. I'm going to make you all knowingly," because it's shitty on her part to know that she makes other people uncomfortable. But that's different than trying to do it versus like, "Hey, the school is not giving me other accommodations, or I'm just not asking for it." That's like the accountability portion. Where I feel like this girl either is not being accountable for the situation she's putting others in, right? Because it's not always about like, oh, we need to make the few feel better than the minority or the majority.
But it's kind of the same. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
I was just going to say, it's like, can we not like meet in the middle to a certain degree? Because I think and there may be no middle, but in the sense of like all of it, moving heaven and earth to make someone feel comfortable, one person or one, group of people comfortable is always going to come at the expense of someone else. And it just, people decide who at what point we're willing to make uncomfortable at that point. But like looking at this, and can we not get together and say, okay, there is no way to make this fair for Leah or for the other girls. We put Leah in with the other girls. It is not fair to the other girls. It never will be. Like we are not the same. It just men and women, we are not the same. But it's not fair to Leah, who identifies as a woman, and I have an understanding and empathy for that, and that like that's not my lived experience. But I'm not one to speak on when I don't understand someone else's lived experience. So it wouldn't be fair to put her in a pool with men with how she feels and how she identifies. We're going to get into a state where it's like, you're going to have to be in your own category, because we're not going to, and maybe you're swimming with 2 people. Maybe there's only 2 people in that category.
Make a trans league. Like that's it. Just make a trans league.
Well, the problem
it's not about trying to isolate anyone. It's like, let's try to make this in a way that is as fair as possible. It's never going to be fully fair, but as fair as possible to all parties.
So it's such an odd subject, because there is no way to ever make it fair, because the same way that chick from the Olympics who went on to do weightlifting and took somebody's spot and went all the way. And Ken, wholeheartedly, I think that she was told to bomb. I think she was told to bomb because she missed every lift. Every fucking lift. You missed your opener.
I've never been in a weightlifting competition and missed every one of my lifts. I've missed 3 out of 6, like half.
Like your opener should be slightly under your fucking max. Your next one should jump your max, and your third one should be like an absolute, like a max that like you've never hit before. Those should be your progressions. I think she started like at 80% of her max, missed. 90% missed. Max missed.
Like how?
What are you doing there? Right. So it feels shameful, because then Leah, there was 3 or 4 different races that went on during the year where she lost by a wide margin, and people were like, "Oh, maybe she's not that good." And it's like, this isn't me trying to say there's like a deep state in fucking NCAA double sport.
Deep state.
But you're telling me that it's really got to be that some other girl who ended up finishing like 10 places behind her in a national ranking smoked her ass? Yeah. Not a chance.
Yeah, no, there's no.
The girl held back, tried to make it, look fair. But this girl at University of Kentucky that was in this interview, she said that at the end of the race, her and Leah tied for 5th place. The exact same time, they touched the wall. I don't know how the fuck that happened, but it happened.
No way.
And when they got up to the podiums, They looked at this girl who was a 5th-year senior, who was
Red-shirted.
probably redshirted. Yep.
Yeah.
Who went to the Olympics and or qualified for it, and said, "Hey, there's only one 5th place trophy. Obviously, we didn't think that this would happen. We're going to give that trophy to Leah. You are going to be able to pose with the 6th place trophy on the same podium, right? But we're just going to hand you the 6th place trophy instead. And like 6th place just won't get in the picture." And she was like, "Okay, fair, but can I ask you why? Can I ask you why I'm not getting the trophy?" And they were like, "Honey, you're getting the 6th place trophy. You're going to take a picture with everybody else. That's just what it's going to be. You're going to get your 5th place trophy in the mail." And she was kind of like, are we doing this because of this type deal? Yeah. And supposedly her athletic director came over and told her words. I came over and was like, "Hey, shut up and just take the fucking trophy and just deal with it." And it was kind of that is the only part of the United States of America that pisses me off nowadays, is there's too many people saying like, "Hey, shut up and take the unfair shit that you have going on or that has happened in your life and let somebody else complain about it." It's kind of like, it's like being in like elementary school when like somebody could legitimately complain and then your teacher was like, "Look, I don't want to tell you that kid's a brat. Like, hey, I just pump the brakes and let this happen. I'll handle this later. You can be line leader next week, all week." And you're like, "All right, fine, but if he fucks up that Oregon Trail game for me, I'm going to fuck him up."
I remember that game. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was the best game. But there's always that whiny little brat that like every teacher probably knows there's one of those kids. But now it's like the norm to like be like, "Hey, like let them have their hissy fit. And at the end, maybe we'll double back and we'll pat you on the back or some shit."
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like in most of these situations, there's always going to be someone who gets offended or gets hurt, and so people are looking and saying, "Who am I more comfortable with offending or hurting in this?" Like, okay, like probably gonna be easier to probably gonna be easier to like offend you or make you feel slighted. Like, I'm not gonna go there. And I mean, I think it's unfortunate because so many people don't want to even have the conversation because they're so afraid of how they're going to be perceived. You know, if like you bring up this topic and like, I mean, I feel bad I couldn't even remember her name. I remember seeing it and I was like, "Oh Lord, here we go." Like, this is, but you
here come the pitchforks, boys.
Like, but you can't even have a conversation with like, "This is what I think about this. This is what you think about this." Like, there's a lot of gray here, and not have it turn into this huge thing of like us versus them. I mean, you could say that probably with any issue, but
the one part of this, it's not the Leah Thomas situation, but it's the trans movement that has really, I don't want to say piqued my interest, but it's the putting men who are transitioning to women in women's prison.
Yeah, one guy
and then
got
women getting pregnant.
Yeah, he got someone pregnant. Oh God, yeah.
No. He didn't get her pregnant, Ken. He raped her and got her pregnant.
Wait, what? He raped her?
Yes, it's fucking prison, motherfucker. There's no consensual sex in prison.
I mean, it could have been. They could have been like, "Oh, you got a dick? I ain't had none in 8 years. Give me some."
We're the fucking lucky.
Liz is like, "Yeah, that could happen."
Yeah, that could happen.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we
are brought to you by the consensual sex of the Texas Institution for Corrections. Yeah,
you're right.
We'll have to fact check the consent issue, but
here we go. It's right there.
She was raped.
Yeah, she was raped. I'm so sorry.
So, but then there's also women becoming men that get put into men's prisons, and then they get raped because they have not transitioned the entire way.
Here we go. I'm about to look that up too.
Like, are we so willing to throw away people's, like, the sanity of this is the same thing with like when we wanted to make going into the opposite gender bathroom okay. And then it was immediately like 50-year-old men walking into women's bathrooms and preying on like small women. And it's like, oh, what, did we really think that was going to be a great idea?
No,
I feel like the Simpsons have definitely played this episode.
It's a very bad idea. I don't think that you should. It's like that guy. Who was it that Blair White was talking about?
I want Matt Fraser to transition so he comes out and kicks Tia Toomey's ass.
That's about the only way she's gonna lose.
Yeah. If you guys seen, I guess it's like now 1 or 2 stand-ups ago, but Dave Chappelle's where he had to come out. Well, he didn't have to, but he was like, all right, I'm going to come out and address, like, everyone hates me for my comments about transgender people. And he's like, I don't hate transgender people. He's just trying to have a conversation. And it's funny because he says stuff that like could arguably be, I mean, and is like so controversial about like women, about race, you know, like everything. And he's like, and this is the thing, like they're gonna just crucify him for.
Yeah. Then he told the story of his transgender friend. It was like it was basically like a love story. And
so Joe Rogan
talk about us.
Joe Rogan said if you pay attention to the entirety of the whole skit that he did and everything behind it, is he said like he was doing it in relation to his dead friend who committed suicide from being transgender, and he was like, all Dave Chappelle did was essentially as a comedian write a comedic love letter to his dead friend. And he was like, everybody else, if like Robert Downey Jr. had a friend that died that was trans, and he did a movie about like the awareness of transgenderness, everyone wouldn't be like, oh dude, fuck you, like you did a movie and like tried to play off their death. No, they tried to do what they could for the cause in the way that their profession allows.
Yeah, that's the language they speak. I mean, like stand-up comedy is a language in and of itself, for sure.
What does it say? Dave spoke gender. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the jokes were funny as fuck.
Oh, they're hilarious.
If you watch the special,
this is him addressing.
There's also 2 extremely, and I don't mean to like characterize them as overweight to make fun of them, but like there's just like these 2 really big women, and like it makes it very noticeable because they are very girthy women. Yes, probably. Okay. But they're sitting in the direct center of this camera angle that pans from him to the crowd, and they're smack dab in the middle of the crowd. But they have like the gauges, the fucking nose piercings, like the etc. shit, like that's really extra. And they both have like an exotic like color hair that's like extremely short. And they are just like, everybody around them's laughing and they're both like,
oh god, it's a fucking thing. It's a thing. I just found
it. Is it a thing?
Holy shit.
I saw this shit, I paused it and I was like, Jess, please look at this.
Look at this. Look at it. Wait, it was just up here. It auto-populated. Oh my!
I love it. One of my favorite Dave Chappelle skits, like in the original Killing Him Softly, when he talks about like, you know, women and like the way you're dressing or whatever, and he like compares it to like dressing like a cop, and someone comes up and he's like, please help me. And he's like, I'm not a cop. I'm just wearing this. Like, you may not be a whore, but you sure are wearing a whore's uniform. I'm like,
it's true.
And people are, so I know people are so worked up about it, but the way he like weaves that in is just perfect.
Well, here's another controversial idea.
We were leaving.
You could.
Wait, we were leaving.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you could shut the fuck up and move on with what you have.
Yeah.
But like
that skit with the LeBron movement and WNBA was fucking. It was genius like a year and a half before it needed to be.
He's like, LeBron's gonna come out there and score 850 points. And then what?
And y'all gonna fucking cheer him.
Gonna cheer him. But
so,
it's just, we were leaving going to brunch today, right? And Tam had this skirt on. She was like, oh, you know, I feel pretty. I'm like, yeah, you look good. I can fuck. She walks out, the wind blows, and it goes straight up. And I went, that was a great idea, huh? And she went, I'm going to put on shorts. She walked back in the house. She made a very adult decision.
My God. This is where today's podcast is going.
Yeah, that's where we've been on it for an hour and 39 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I gotta start making chicken
circle.
Wings here in a little bit, but
oh God.
I feel like we started talking about abortion and we ended up with talking about.
We talked a lot about.
Oh gosh, yeah, we did.
I'm just happy we have not talked anything about, like, we've done the whole women's circle, but we have not talked about periods, and we're not going there. That is a good thing. No, we don't want to. Nope. That's just a normal conversation. If you start talking about like women's health and like women's world, that somehow plays a part. I'm glad we didn't get there.
How about this one? Wait.
No.
Wait,
shut the fuck up.
I'm not going to say anything about periods.
I want to ask Liz a question.
Liz, I'm going to ask Liz a question too. You're married, aren't you, Liz?
I am not.
You're not?
I'm divorced,
Everybody, Liz is single as fuck. Go out there and shoot your shot. her Instagram it's on here. Let me pull it up again. Let me put this out here.
Miss,
Yeah.
I swear to God, I had
I'm
nothing to do with
I'm
that.
just gonna say it out loud. Yeah, Elizabeth.
Wait, hang on. Before we start doing that, hang on.
It's EOHAN 212
God,
212
Ken?
EOHAND 212.
You might be divorced, Liz,
Trust
but
me,
do
if
you
I
happen
were
to be in a
single,
relationship
I
or
would
no?
have went after her too. It's okay. Go get her. Bam. Just put it out there. And I'm gonna share it on screen. And I'm talking about Hayes. You better not go find her either. Fuck you, Hayes. Don't do it. Don't do it, Hayes.
Oh man.
There we go, right there. Beautiful young
Me
lady.
with my tattoo.
Yep, right there with your tattoo. Just wonderful smile.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
All of us. She has a beautiful little boy. Look at this.
You
This
didn't
man.
even ask if she was in a relationship of any kind.
I just asked her. She was divorced. I just put it out there. She doesn't have to
Divorce
answer.
doesn't mean she's not dating.
That is fair. I'm in the same boat, but I'm with the lady.
Jesus Christ. You're fucking
awesome.
married.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, call it that.
No, you're
be,
married.
It's gonna be solidified in January, but yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm just glad that this podcast didn't go into a conversation about divorce and whatever, because I was like, oh, all right, let's
We
therapy
could.
session. Or
No, we're wrapping this
good.
up after this
No.
next question.
No.
You're like,
All right, what's the next question?
All right, I just want to know
that felt good.
what is the biggest thing you have going on, and what is the next biggest thing you want to get into?
Ooh. Biggest thing that I have going on. I mean, this is gonna sound really lame, but my job as a pharmacy manager, I oversee a lot of different groups, and we're building a women and children's hospital, and I'm kind of in charge of our clinical pharmacy services for that. So that feels like a big thing.
That's a big thing.
That's pretty big.
Is that in the greater San Antonio area?
Yeah, it's off Medical Drive, University Hospital, our big county hospital, and then right next to it, there's going to be a massive women and children's hospital. So taking care of highest risk pregnancies, babies, all that kind of stuff. So that's a big thing. And then the thing that I want to do is write a book.
Do it. It's very easy. I started and finished.
It's been on my list of things. But anyway, we'll see when work slows.
Talking about writing a novel, not finishing a coloring book, motherfucker.
Wow, Steve. At least I can read, you bastard.
I can. It's just slowly.
It's just really slow.
And Steve, we got BCS Classic.
We do.
Yeah.
I told you.
What is
This is my partner.
What is that?
Mm-hmm. It's Rich Froning's competition that happens, and I think it's in College Station.
It's his qualifier we have to do together
to get to the Mayhem Classic or whatever.
Yeah, hopefully there's not running involved, Josh. I'm gonna be dragging some ass.
It's male female.
We'll figure that.
Yeah,
Male female,
male or female.
When is this?
The qualifier is June.
Don't try to get in on this. Don't you dare try to take one of my spots.
Wait. It's an online qualifier or
So there's a 10-day qualifier. Rich Froning programs the workouts for the qualifier, and all the proceeds go to Mayhem missions, which I think is super cool because it's we do this stuff anyway. Might as well put money towards a good cause. And then if you qualify, you go to the actual event in College Station, and he's there. Rich is there. He actually competes with someone there for charity. But then
Ken, you could do that. You could have enough money to bribe him.
Yep.
It's whoever has the biggest donation gets to work with Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, bro. I'll just
you don't want to tower over him?
No, someone's gonna
get a partner, but get a dude so you don't hurt our chances.
Yeah, fuck off.
You guys are gonna do great. I'll find a girl. I'm gonna get Gabby to do it with me. That's what I'm gonna get to do it with me.
No, get the fuck out of here.
Gabby McClellan.
Find a dude, jackass.
No.
Go ask Jalen to do it. You guys can fucking smoke everybody.
I'm gonna die. I'll die. If I'm working with James, he's gonna be like, why are you not doing your burpees faster? I'm fucking dying. I can't.
Ask James Townsend. Maybe he'll partner with you. It's a good cause.
There you go.
You think so?
He probably would. It's a good
find a girl. I just want to
Mayhem Mission, though, what they do a lot of the time with the BCS Classic, and I think a lot of their shit is they put all the money towards stopping child
trafficking. Yeah, they do. Yep.
So I wouldn't doubt James being very into doing that, or at least being your partner in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask somebody. I'll do it.
You guys can go.
Registration?
What was that, $40?
For the qualifier is $40. I don't know what the actual event is, but
yeah.
Okay, so there's an online qualifier at the end of the event, and you qualify for that. You go to Mayhem Classic as a pair. or no?
I don't think it's completely separate from
Okay.
Mayhem Classic. So it's just the 10 days.
Yeah,
in
the
June and then
BCS
event
Classic
in
is down
August.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a reason to go to Texas. Steve's not a good enough
Come
reason.
on down.
I
I'm
wasn't
going
a
to
good enough
Colorado
fucking
this
reason.
week.
Oh, just kidding. Wait, say what now?
I'm going to Colorado this week.
Wait,
Yeah,
really?
Jess and I are coming up the 20th through the 22nd for Luke Combs.
Wait, when are you coming up, Elizabeth? Wait, you're 22nd.
I'm coming up on Friday. I have to go to Omaha for a couple of days, and then I'm going to go from there to. It's a conference, residency research conference. Yeah, and then I'm flying from there to Denver, and then going to a concert at Red Rocks on Saturday, and coming back on Sunday.
Who's playing?
Turnpike Troubadours.
Oh yeah.
Their lead
Ken's
singer
gonna go
is
buy himself
fresh
some
and
fucking
sober.
tickets.
And the
He's fresh
concert,
and
Tam.
sober.
You fucking. I love how you pull off your headset like it's gonna fucking
No,
help
it's noise.
something.
It's
You
noise
should
canceling.
pull off the other fucking side that has the microphone that you're yelling into.
Oh yeah, my bad. There's
Jesus.
a concert, Tam.
Thank you, my God.
Is it still bad?
No, it's much better.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
pretty sure my unborn child could have heard that first one.
He probably did.
Hey, what's the name? Are you keeping it a secret? Sorry, I know we gotta go. We're just long
Jebediah.
conversation here,
Let's call him
So
Jeb.
I can't say on
Okay, you
here
don't have
what
to.
it is yet. No, I can't say on here what the gender is yet. We haven't given that out yet.
What's the
Yeah.
letter?
Ken knows, I think.
Yeah, I know.
But the girl name is Ken Lee is the first name after Jess's dad.
Mhm.
And then the middle name I think is, so it'd be Kenley Ray. And then if it's a boy, it is Trace Alexander. So I will say this on here. So you know how Rich Roning's kid's name is Trice,
I
right?
don't think I knew that. Yeah. Okay.
You know that, Ken?
Yeah, I knew that.
Or they call him Trice. So I'm pretty sure he's Rich Froning, Rich something Froning the third,
The third. Mm-hmm.
but they called him Trice as a nickname. But then it stuck, so I think that's like legitimately his name. I don't know. So I thought about doing something like that, but then Jess and I talked about it, and we're gonna spell it Trace, like normal Trace, but then we would know it as Trace as in Spanish for three. So
I like it.
he won't be a third, but in our head he would be.
I like it. That's
I
cool.
like it. Yeah, I do like it too.
I don't really like the idea of thirds and fourths and all that stuff. I think it's because then it puts pressure on people afterwards. Like if you have your first kid and it's a boy, and then it's like, oh, what am I gonna do if the next one's a boy? He's gonna feel some type of way. So
Yeah.
no. So Ken, this is going to be the point in the show where we start to wrap things up. Let's go to the link tree.
Okay, let me do that. Let me stop signing
Liz,
up for the BCS
Understand
Classic.
part of this podcast that we do is, like Ken said with Leo, we were able to hook him up with a bunch of different companies and a bunch of help. So it is great to know that you are a part of a hospital that's coming up. So hopefully everybody, if you guys are listening, we do have a lot of followers in the San Antonio area. That's what our Instagram tells us.
Oh wow.
That and Colorado are our two highest totals.
Yeah.
So if they hear about this hospital, who knows, maybe they can donate some funds or do some stuff to help out with that. And then hopefully, I know Sabrina, I'm trying to get her and Dakota to come on.
Nice.
We have to schedule that out, but that would be cool to talk about the gym. Then I tried getting the team on. I know Shelly said she's not too much for being in front of a camera, but if I can get Matt, Audrey, and Dakota, maybe we can swing her, just have her kind of in the background.
Yeah.
She was good. But okay. So after this hour and 49 minutes,
Yep. So I got
we're
we're
gonna go through this link tree real quick. We're gonna do our little ad reads, okay? So head over to the It's Not All Black and White you can find it on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. You can find it just about anywhere that podcasts are played. But if you're not using Apple or Spotify, you're poor or something. So go over there. They're free. So don't be a bum. Okay. Go over, hit the like, the subscribe, hit a comment, hit a review. It's the only way that we're ever going to get out of the darkness of the pit that we're in on the standings list. So we need you guys' help.
Horrible.
And my mother-in-law, Jill Miller, is not the only person that can write a comment or a review. So all you motherfuckers out there listening to this, do it.
Write something down.
She's better than all of you guys, but she can't do it all alone. Okay.
She needs help.
All right. Number 2, BlitzBelts. What are you doing?
I jumped over.
We talked about Michael Oates already. He
We
doesn't get any more
He's
spotlight
an
on this.
amazing person.
All right. Title sponsor for this Not All Black and White podcast
He's
is
the
brought to you guys
daddy.
by BlitzBelts. BlitzBelts is an amazing company headed up by just a couple of people that do some amazing firsthand work. They're putting together custom belts. They put together a variety of different sizes, shapes, colors, patterns that works. And as if you don't have one, we have through the link tree and through our Instagram bio, we have money off for you guys using our code. I'm not going to say what it is. You guys can go and find out what the fuck it is. Lazy sons of bitches.
BAWs.
God damn it, Ken. BAWs 22. But you can go on there. You can customize belts. You can get any different type of logo that they have. You can also get patches. You can get names sewn on, customizable, all that stuff. For the most part, they go anywhere from 50 to about 85 bucks. If you customize, it goes up to about 100. But the amount of money that we save you guys off is roughly equivalent to your shipping and handling and maybe a few extra dollars on the customized ones. If you do it on the ones that are already pre-made, it gets you about, I think it's like $10 to $15 off, depending on which ones you guys get. But there are so many different types, so many different varieties of colors and all the different patterns. So it's really good stuff. They help us out. They also have some apparel, some hats, some patches, and you can get your name sewn on and all that stuff too. So head over there, talk to those guys, let them know the boys sent you. Maybe we'll get a little kickback. Probably not. Maybe we will. Maybe. All right, second one. We're also brought to you guys by ModBalls. ModBalls is a company that Ken and I had on not too many weeks ago where they talked about all the different ways that people try to get caffeine or get energy into their body. This is a healthy supplement, essentially, which comes in the size of a ball, about making that okay sign with your hand, right? All the ingredients in there are all natural. They're delicious. There's the peanut butter and then the almond coconut. I'm not much of a fan of almonds or coconuts, but peanut butter is delicious. Okay. The way we handle these, you got a 20 count in each bag, which is really nice. But I have one before I go to the gym. I have not been in a high intensity enough workout for long enough to need a second one. But our buddies Hayes and Jalen, which you can also go to their Instagram, they also have some money off too. You cannot combine, cannot do that. It's illegal. They don't let us do it.
Yesterday, I was doing a running workout. It was like 5K worth of sprint intervals, and I ate one before and in between, and I felt amazing. So,
well, that's good. So they are really good at just giving you that kicker to the 3 p.m. Little bit of like nap that you want to get in. Take one at about like 2:30. You'll coast to about 4 or 5, and then you can get home. Do whatever you guys got to do. But ModBalls really helps out the boys. I know that they've donated some money to great causes, to great athletes. They're sponsoring a bunch of athletes to help them out with their competition and stuff. CrossFit Shoe Fly was sponsored by them. They have 2 of our buddies on there. So I know ModBalls is a great company. We want to be sponsored by somebody who is a shitbag. And if any of these people turn out to be shitbags, know that I will cut them.
Love it.
All right, CerusPerformance. I wouldn't even say you have to click on it really, but they have a whole bunch of different supplements that go through sleep and performance and then recovery. Each one is better than the next. I think when we had old boy on, he had a terrific way of explaining all of this stuff. Go back and listen to that episode. He goes through every ingredient off the top of his fucking dome. He knew exactly what the fuck he was talking about. All he's trying to do is provide people with great all-natural supplements or as close to all-natural as possible. And he has some big goals. He's not going to get there if he's out here fucking lying. He's donating money directly to athletes for their competition. He's doing a whole bunch of great stuff in his community. And just head over to CerusPerformance. He also supports Ken. So make sure we keep Ken off welfare.
Yeah, I don't want to be on welfare, guys. Help me. I need the $15.
All right, don't click on HeroBarbell. We don't need to click on... HeroBarbell also, they're not really a sponsor. They just gave us a cool fucking code off.
Code.
It gets you anywhere. I think it's almost like $30 off brand new barbell. Barbells are phenomenal. We have 4 of them in the gym that Liz and I both go to. They come in pink, purple, orange, light blue, red,
orange and black,
like sky blue, orange, black, green, army green. Fucking nerds. But they are military owned. They operate out of SoCal, and those barbells are phenomenal. Ken uses them. I use them. we wouldn't put this shit on here if it was trash. So
Snatched 265 pounds was the other day. It was great.
yeah. And then Instacart is a discount for us. I know there's a lot of different companies you can choose from to get your Instacart discount from. Come over, help the boys out. Yes, we get a little bit of a kickback. It's kind of like cash back, except the more you guys spend with our code, the more money we get. Okay, so go over there. It's just like all the other Uber Eats and all that shit. The more stuff you guys can buy using our code, it helps us out. You can get everything from Costco to Walgreens to CVS to a pizza place down the road, possibly, if your pizza place is cool enough. But they'll deliver everything straight to your front door. They might even leave dog food under your car like they did for me because I wasn't home. But they did it anyways, and they helped me out. So if anybody wants some free delivery stuff, maybe not free because we're not that big of a podcast yet. But who knows? Maybe one day we'll get like $100 on your first few purchases free. That would be woof.
I'm working on it. It's hard.
Yeah, we started working on our sponsorship slide decks, so we're gonna start charging people.
Money.
All right.
Watch, we're gonna start having to drop sponsors left and right because we not a fucking chance. You guys talked about Leah Thomas, you shitbags.
And Helen Keller, she's a national treasure.
No, fuck her. They care just about as much with her as they do fucking Amelia Earhart, and that woman flew across the world.
Yeah, that's about, it's just funny because, I just.
By the way, she lives in Japan, or lived in Japan. She died there. If you didn't know, that's where she fucking went
You're a
and stayed.
conspiracy theorist, aren't you?
Nope. There's a. First of all, I lived in Japan, and they have Japanese history somewhat kind of teaches this, but she landed in their southern island and then made a trip to mainland just to see Tokyo. And there's a picture of her right from behind on a dock at Tokyo Bay. The plane that she flew is in the picture. By like you can see by the numbers that is her plane. Ergo, there's another woman with like semi-short hair right there. And then a man who looks identical to her husband also right there.
Steve, do you believe in QAnon?
No. But I do believe Amelia Earhart. I think 100% she knew she wasn't going to get credit for all the things she did when she got back here. So she was like, fuck that. Why don't I just stay here in Japan where they don't know me and I'm going to live out a cool life?
Is that why you wanted those gooders that said Amelia Earhart ghosted me?
Goodyear is a fucked company. Fuck them.
Yeah, they fed us.
They ghosted us.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, I'm gonna go see if my son has built a bomb out of Legos at this point.
He probably has.
Probably.
Yeah. All right, Liz. Thanks for coming on.
Great.
Ken, I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna go make me some hot wings.
Yeah, I'm gonna go smoke some tri-tip. Bye.
Oh my god.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.